तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear Dr. Nagendra, the chairman of this session, dear Dr. Garute, dignitaries present here, dear friends, I am extremely happy to be here with you all once again. Many of you, I think, were present when 2 years back I was here for the 4th International Conference, but the subject was different. And now I am here for the 6th International Conference, and in memory of late Dr. Manohar Gharote. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Manohar Gharote for giving me this opportunity of meeting you all once again. The topic that has been kept for this conference is Mind and Beyond, a traditional yogic approach. What a wonderful topic. But when you talk about mind and beyond, there is nothing to talk about. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya mansasaha. When we go to that absolute reality, which is beyond time, space and position, that cannot be expressed in words. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, you know, you heard about him, one of the few saints of the modern times who had the first experience of this transcendental state, Samadhi state. Not only once in lifetime, but sometimes, many times in a day. He used to remain in the borderline between the absolute and the relative world. So the disciples, including Swami Vivekananda and his brother disciples, they said, why don't you explain what happens at the time of Samadhi when mind goes beyond? He said, I will try to leak out that secret. And then he started explaining, you know, the mind remains at the level of Muladhara, then it goes higher and higher up, the Kundalini moves up, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, 3 are the nerves, but it moves from the Sushumna, the central nerve, from Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipur, it comes to Anahat Chakra. And when it comes to Anahat Chakra, then you have the first glimpse of that light, the divinity. And then, after the Anahat Chakra, it goes into the Agna Chakra. And then when it comes to Agna Chakra, then you feel as if you are seeing the God, seeing the reality. But there is only a glass. There is a sort of a glass mirror. You cannot touch it. And when it reaches the final stage, Sahasrara, then he went into Samadhi. He couldn't describe it. So again, after coming back to the normal state, the disciple said, no, you told this time you promised that you will describe. Okay, he started again. And when he started again and came that one by one stage, the mind goes higher up, and after touching all the chakras, it comes to the Agna Chakra, and there the reality is almost being touched. It is like almost a glass of mirror. And then it goes to the Sahasrara, and then again. He tried many times, and then he said, what to do? You know, I want to speak, but the Divine Mother, as it were, clutches my throat and doesn't allow me to speak. So Swami Shardananda, the brother disciple of Swami Vivekananda, who wrote the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, he was a student of medical science. He said, I have written the biography and I have not only verified but cross-verified, and there only I have written all the details of his biography. Then he narrates that at that time we were students and we used to feel how bad on part of Divine Mother to catch hold of the throat of Sri Ramakrishna and not allow him to speak the reality. But then he said, later on we understood what Sri Ramakrishna was attempting was impossible. The infinite cannot be expressed to the finite mouth. The unlimited, the absolute, which is beyond time, space and causation, cannot be expressed in words through this limited brain, through this limited mouth, and cannot be understood by this limited brain. It took a lot of time for us that in order to reach, in order to understand, in order to grasp the infinite, the absolute, which is beyond time, space and causation, we will have to go beyond time, space and causation. And this is exactly the premises in which the modern science is coming. There's a beautiful book, The Mind of God by Paul Davis, one of the greatest scientists of our times. The name of the book is The Mind of God. He wants to know the mind of God. How to know the mind of God? Then he says, God is infinite. There cannot be more than one infinite. But mathematically speaking, there can be more than one infinite. So, all of them jumbled together. He aggregated all the infinites and he calls it Cantor's absolute. And then he goes on trying to know the Cantor's absolute. And final chapter he comes and says, it is not possible to know the mind of God. Because Cantor's absolute cannot be known objectively, because Cantor's absolute contains the mind of the person who is wanting to know the Cantor's absolute. So, how can he know the subject? It is not an object, it is a subject. How can you know the subject? So he says, finally, perhaps the mystical process is the only process whereby you can know the mind of God or absolute. So, unless until you go beyond time, space and causation, you go beyond this mind, this limited mind, till that time you cannot reach the reality. You cannot know the reality. In fact, most of the discoveries of the modern science have been achieved during the stage when they were in an intuitive mood, where the scientists had gone beyond this limited time-space continuum, frame of mind. It is at that time they could meet most of the truths. And that is why Dr. Einstein said that meditation is the one method by which you can really unravel the secrets of mystery. He used to come to our center in Hollywood sometimes. He was in contact with our Swamiji in Vedanta Society of Southern California, and he could understand the importance of meditation, the mystical process whereby in order to unravel the secrets of the universe. And he wrote a book, The World as I See It, where he says, Dr. Einstein says, the true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. So that is the goal of life. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. One of the greatest scientists of the world is telling that. And so, this is here we come. The traditional yogic approach is for knowing not only the mind, but going beyond mind. That is the goal of life. Swami Vivekananda beautifully told in his book on Raj Yoga, each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy. By one or more or all of these and be free. This is the goal of religion. Dogmas, rituals, worships, temples, forms, churches, mosques are but secondary details. So the essential thing is to manifest the divinity which is already there. Is reaching the goal of life is to manifest the divinity, that infinitude, to reach that absolute, to go beyond the time, space and causation. Ultimately, a time will come when each and every person has to achieve that. For some, it may take some less time. For some, it may take more time. But that is the destiny of each and every human being on this earth. Even, but not of the gods, not Devatas. Gods will have to take human birth. Why? Because only during human birth, only have got SQ, spiritual intelligence. Nobody else. No animals, no birds, no other species. Out of, previously our scripture said, out of 84 lakhs of species, only human beings can have access. They can go beyond mind and they can have manifest the divinity and reach that infinite knowledge, absolute bliss, absolute knowledge, absolute existence. Only they alone can have self-realization or self-knowledge or can have spiritual knowledge. Only human beings can have that access. That is what the old scriptures say. Our scriptures, Indian scriptures. But the modern science says no. There are not 84 lakhs of species. There are 125 lakhs of species. Of course, the difference is not much. Cloning and so many things are going on. With all that, the difference is not much. They have not got those instruments, microscope now. And yet they came so close. 84 lakhs of species. Here it is 125 lakhs of species in modern sciences. But it says, out of all these species, only human beings have got SQ, spiritual intelligence. Dana Zohar, she has written a beautiful book. The name of the book is SQ, spiritual intelligence, the ultimate intelligence, where she says, neurologically, biologically, physiologically, psychologically, from every point of view there is a concluding evidence. There is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. And what is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? Emotional intelligence. EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? SQ will tell you whether to play the game of life or not. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Why are we here on this earth? What is the ultimate aim of life? Aim of life is to go beyond this game. Ultimate aim of life is to go beyond this relative existence. Ultimate aim of life is to get absolute knowledge, absolute bliss, absolute existence. Become immortal. Conquer death. That is the ultimate aim of human life. This is now the modern science is agreeing. And that is why Lincoln Barnett, he wrote a beautiful book many years back. Now, this is what modern science is proving about SQ. But much before the discovery of SQ, spiritual intelligence, Lincoln Barnett wrote a beautiful book. The name of the book is Einstein and the Universe, in which he says, man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. Of all the species on earth, man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. This transcending, going beyond the limitations of mind, that is the purpose of life. That is what Lincoln Barnett said. And then Niels Bohr, another great physicist, Nobel Prize physicist, says, we are all actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. We are all actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. Isn't it? We are all playing the game. At the same time, we know that we are playing the game. But this prerogative is only with the human beings. Supposing there is a drama going on, Ramayana play is going on, and Ram and Ravana are fighting. Or say Duryodhana and Bhima, they are fighting. Now, when Bhima is hitting Duryodhana, he knows I am him and he is Duryodhana. And the whole audience is watching this war is going on, Mahabharata going on. So, he is acting. What he is acting? He is acting like a team. And the other person is acting like Duryodhana. But when Bhim is hitting Duryodhana, he knows I am him and he is Duryodhana. At the same time, he knows that I am Ram and he is Shyam, and after 10 minutes we are going to have a cup of coffee all together in the green room. And so he doesn't hit hard. People feel that he has hit hard, but he doesn't hit hard. Why? He is actor and spectator in this great drama of life simultaneously. We are all actors and spectators. We are all actors. We are acting in this great drama of life. But we have a special facility of being a spectator, of being aware of what we are doing. This capacity of being aware of what we are, this capacity of going beyond the limitations of our own self, well, that itself is the special prerogative of human being, and that is the goal of life. And that is why the traditional yogic approach is very important. There are so many yogic approaches. Now, as you know, very good. Most of the yogic approaches now, yoga means, is it for gaining physical health? So, blood pressure goes down, bypass surgery can be bypassed. Yeah, if you regularly meditate. Dr. Yogendra has got too many classes going on for that. But that's good, that's a blessing to mankind. But that is one purpose of yoga. That is gaining physical health, bypassing the bypass surgery, lowering the blood pressure. Dr. Herbert Benchel, the associate professor at Harvard University, made research for 25 years and then wrote the book, The Relaxation Response. And then he showed how the blood pressure went down by regular meditation. In fact, in Japan, the neuropsychiatrists, they found out what is the effect of meditation on Zen monks by an EEG machine. So they observed when the Zen monks were meditating, first of all they saw there were waves of 10 to 12 cycles per second, alpha waves. Then they saw after some time when the meditation deepened, they got 8 to 10 cycles per second of alpha waves. The amplitude had gone down. And afterwards, when the deep meditation was there, they found theta waves of 6 to 7 cycles per second. And theta waves is the indication of tranquility in mind. And so they have proved scientifically that meditation gives you tranquility. So some people are following yoga and meditation for physical health. Some people are following yoga and meditation for mental health. Getting tranquility, getting mental peace, stress management. One of the best methods of stress management is meditation and yoga. So there is no doubt that is a blessing to mankind. But Swami Vivekananda says, do not stop there. He says, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. And the goal is not to have only physical health. The goal is also not to have mental health. The goal is not to have only tranquility. The goal is not only to reduce our tension. The goal is not only stress management. And what is the goal? Goal is beyond. Goal is to go beyond the limitations of mind and reach the ultimate, manifest the divinity, reach the infinite. And what is in the yogic method is called the eighth step, and that is samadhi. So in the terminology of yoga, the traditional yoga says the purpose of ultimate aim of yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Ultimately, cessation of all vrittis. That will give you not the position of a stone. sometimes they feel, my God, if every Vritti is subsiding, then we will become like war. No. Then we will reach our ultimate, real, original state, which is a blissful state. It is not a nihilism that we are preaching into yoga. Of course, here it is going for yoga. Vedantic meditation, Vedantic style, in the Vedantic methodology, we can say it is yoga. Yoga leads to yoga, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. But another traditional yoga system is coming from Upanishad time, and that says yoga, union of the self, the individual self, with the absolute self, or with the supreme self. This yoga, this alone will give us infinite knowledge, infinite existence, infinite bliss. And that is our true nature, Satchidananda, according to Vedantic tradition. According to the Yogic tradition, Patanjali tradition, we are all disturbed, or we get into the suffering only because of vrittis. When Chitta Vritti Nirodh comes, then we go back to our original state. And that is called, you may call it perfection, you may call it absolute state. We have to reach that absolute. We have to reach that perfection. Perfection is the goal of life. And we are all perfect. Only there are certain obstructions that have to be removed. And the yogic method, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, Patanjali method, which is called Raj Yoga. There are, as I told, there are 4 yogas by which we can reach the absolute. Raj Yoga, the method of meditation. Bhakti Yoga, the method of devotion. Jnana Yoga, the method of discrimination. And Karma Yoga, the method of unselfish service. But this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the traditional yogic method, one of the most important traditional yogic method is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, where it says that there is an 8-fold path, and the ultimate aim is to reach Samadhi. But of course, we all have to, at one stage or the other, we have to reach that stage. So Swami Vivekananda has already told in his book on Raj Yoga, beautifully says, Samadhi is the property of every human being, nay, every animal. From the lowest animal to the highest angel, sometime or other, each one will have to come to that state, and then alone will real religion begin for him. Until then, we only struggle towards that stage. There is no difference now between us and those who have no religion, because we have no experience. What is concentration good for? Save to bring us to this experience. Each one of the states to attain Samadhi has been reasoned out, properly adjusted, scientifically organized, and when faithfully practiced, will surely lead us to the desired end. Then will all sorrows cease, all miseries vanish, the seeds for actions will be burned, and the soul will be free forever. That is the ultimate goal of life. So that we have to keep in mind. The ultimate goal of life is to reach that absolute. But we cannot just jump to the 8th zone. What will happen? Breakdown. And this is what is happening. Many people, they go for instant samadhi. Instant coffee, instant success, instant samadhi. And then instant death or instant fall. This is what happens. And there are so many people who want to be deceived. How can you stop them being deceived? So there are many people who have been taken for a ride, and in the name of this, and everybody wants cheap. We all want shortcut. And that shortcut becomes a big cut afterwards. And a dangerous cut. So that is why some of our senior monks used to say, always, there is no shortcut in spiritual life. You have to pay the full price. Of course. If you want to be cheated, nobody can help you. I brought the battery. After half an hour, it is not working. Why? Because I brought cheap batteries made of China. I got it at only 3 rupees. I thought Japanese batteries costing 12 rupees. Why should I go for that costly battery? And so, end up within half an hour, gone. And then we go on telling that all these merchants, they are cheating us. But you are a bigger cheat. You want within 3 rupees you want battery. So that is what you get. Similarly, we want to get instant samadhi. And we don't want to practice. We want just by paying $100, $500, we will get instant samadhi. I don't want to practice anything. I directly want to explore. My dear friend, Patanjali was not a fool. Was he a fool? Patanjali, so many years back, he said that the practice will take a long time and it's a very long way, it's a hard way, there is no shortcut here. Was he a fool when he was telling? He was telling, Satu Dirghakal, Nairantar, Satkara, Sevito, Dirghumi. Dirghakal, for a long time you have to work. Then Patanjali out of debt. We don't want. Dirghakal, we want not Dirghakal. We want instant. Dirghakal, Nairantar. We have to work continuously. No, Patanjali is not good for us. So we want instant samadhi, and that is how the dangers are coming. We have to remember, it is an eightfold path. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and the final step is samadhi. Samadhi is our goal. Let us not forget. That is absolute. We want to achieve that at one stage or the other. But we have to go step by step. And we have to pay the full price. What is Yama? Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigra, Ahimsa. No, Yama is not possible nowadays. Satya. Satya, that is truthful. My dear friend Swamiji, you do not know. You do not know. Now it is that was the old mantra was Satyameva Jayate. And the modern mantra is Asatyameva Jayate. Those who will not follow truth, they alone get good money. They make money. 1,76,000 crore. That is the latest scam. I don't know. Next figure I do not know. So scams after scams are coming on. So we are progressing very fast. From 10,000 crore of order to telecom 1,86,000 crore. Great, very great progress. So Satyameva Jayate is not possible now modern times. Asatyameva Jayate. So please don't tell me to follow truth. Nobody is following truth, and if I follow truth, I will be at disadvantage. So don't tell me to follow Satyameva Jayate. You don't tell me to follow Satya. Asteya, that is taking others' money. No, I don't go for that. Of course, चोरी थोड़ा सा चोरी income tax का करते हैं, ज़्यादा चोरी नहीं करते. I do little stealing, not stealing others' pocket, but I steal from the pocket of the government. After all, it is also चोर, मैं भी चोर, चोर का भी चोर. So, asteya is not possible nowadays. Brahmacharya, that is old decade thing. Now we want to enjoy. Brahmacharya gone. No continence, no chastity. No. Chastity, thought, word and deed is the old days. So Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya is not possible. Aparigraha, not receiving any gift. I like to receive gift. I am waiting for birthday gift and a marriage gift and so on. Only we want gift and gift. So that is not possible. Ahimsa, yes, I practice non-violence. I never use any gun. I don't have a AK-47 and I do not have any knife. Yes, but when I speak, it is working more than AK-47. So much sharp are my weapons that for 3 nights the other person cannot sleep. Sharp. It's AK-47. So I do violence with my words. I cannot stop that violence. So, Satya not possible, Asteya not possible, Brahmacharya not possible, Aparigraha not possible, Ahimsa not possible. Yama is not possible for me to act. I am a modern man. Niyama, second step, not possible. Shauch, cleanliness both within and without, not possible. Santosh, contentment. No contentment. I want more. 2 cars, 3 cars, 2 mobiles, 3 mobiles. I want more dresses, more houses, more. That is my mantra. And you are telling contented. No santosh. I want asantosh. Consumerism has come in a big way for the modern man. And now affluence has also come. Affluence. So santosh. Tap, austerity. No, I want air conditioning. Nothing. No physical austerity. Don't tell me to fast. I enjoy 84 items of dishes. Very good. Eat more. Still better. Don't tell me to fast. I don't want to do tapas. That is the modern man. So tap is not possible. So santosh, tap, swadhyaya, study, no time. I'm a very busy man. Do you know I'm a CEO of a very big company? No time. So swadhyaya is not possible. Study is not possible. Ishwar pranidhana. That is dedication to God, remembering God's name. But I don't believe in God. How to take the name of God? So, niyama is not possible. Niyama not possible. First and second step not possible. But I want instant samadhi. 8 steps. And that is why the accidents are happening. So, you have to go step by step. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So, dharana, pratyahar itself is very difficult. Asana, that is any seat that you can know. Now, most of the people under Hatha Yoga, asana are giving importance. But under Patanjali, asana is not a very important thing. You take up any type of asana, any type of posture that is convenient to you. But only thing is that you keep your backbone straight. They all should be perpendicular. That's all. And in a comfortable posture you sit for meditation, that is okay. And pranayama, also pranayama is a very big subject, but then normally it is told in our tradition of Ramakrishna mission that we go for a second pura, that is Alom and Vilom, and try to avoid Kumbhaka. Why avoid Kumbhaka? Kumbhaka is the most attractive thing, and you are telling us not to do Kumbhaka. Swami Vivekananda says in book on Raj Yoga that all these practices must be undertaken under the supervision of a competent teacher. Otherwise, there is a danger of ending up in a mental hospital. And see, really, some people come to us with so many problems. My nephews, they come there and his Kundalini is gone up, now it is not coming down, what to do? Who told you to push the Kundalini up? My artificial means. Somewhere they have taken some book and they started Kumbhaka, some pranayama without any competence, and now Kundalini is not coming down and no doctor is able to treat you. Because doctors, they do not know what it is all about. So, all types of problems they come. And that is why we tell them that first of all, you should go to a competent teacher, those who have practiced it, and go step by step. Number one, step by step. Number two, go to a competent teacher and learn from him, not only from books. Otherwise, you will end up in a mental hospital. There is every possibility. And third, why do you want to go for Kumbhaka immediately? Go for Anulom and Vilom. That is enough for physical health, that is enough for mental health, that is enough for your stress management, whatever, and it will also give you concentration of mind, which will give you efficiency in action. That's all that you want. And gradually it will lead you to Samadhi. But Kumbhaka is very attractive because it gives us siddhi and powers, miracles. Everybody wants a miracle. This miracle moving is very dangerous. And that is why these accidents are happening. Not only that, Sri Ramakrishna warned that one should not go. These miracles, these siddhis will come. When you practice Raj Yoga, they will come of themselves without you asking for it. But do not give any attention to it. If you attend to them and you fall into that trap, then you cannot reach the absolute. You cannot reach the goal. You will fall. In between you will fall. Because you will be attracted to the siddhis only. And your mind will get down. Can you listen to me? Last? Okay. So, I am trying to make as loud as possible. Remembering Swami Vivekananda who talked to 7,000 people without mic in Chicago Parliament Religious. I have to try at least with this small group. So, Swami Vivekananda also said, and Sri Ramakrishna also used to warn, that one should be aware of this, beware of these things, and should try to, even if these siddhis come of themselves, we should try to remain detached from them. And if we fall into the trap, we will miss the goal. We will not be able to reach the goal. And Sri Ramakrishna used to tell a beautiful story. There were two brothers. Now, one brother left the house and he went in search of some siddhis and some miracle mongering and all that. So he went to a forest, he meditated for some time, and then he practiced some austerities, practiced Raj Yoga, and he really got some siddhis, some miracle power he got. So after 12 years, and that is a tradition, after 12 years a monk has to go once to his Purvashrama, some sort of tradition. So he came back to his house, and both the brothers were very, very happy to meet each other. And they said, brother, 12 years I was away. How are you keeping? Oh, after you're going, then I concentrated more on the business, and these houses are mine, this is what I have developed, and developed business like this, and I flourished, and he showed all his glamour and all that. Brother, you were 12 years away. What did you do? What did you achieve in 12 years? Oh, you want to see what I did? Come with me, come. And then he took him to a riverside, and he told, stand here. And he just started walking on water, and reached the other side. Now, the brother, he called a boatman, gave him 1 rupee, and immediately crossed and told, brother, how foolish on your part. What I can get with 1 rupee? You wasted 12 years for that. 12 long years for achieving 1 rupee worth. Only 1 rupee took me to cross this river. So, the purpose of life is to not cross the river while walking. The purpose of life is to cross the ocean of worldliness. Once for all. That is the goal of life. So unless and until we have that goal in life, we will be stranded on the meanwhile. So we have to go step by step, yama, niyama, whatever little we can practice in the modern society. I know there are so many difficulties. After all, we are not out of the world. We are not living in forest. We are living in society, and we are facing all the problems. Whatever you are facing, the problem. We have our hospitals, we have many education institutions, and so much problem. Even for a small thing to get done from the government, we know very well. But we have fought, we know, but still we are not really making any compromise with Satya, with truth. For that we have to pay a very heavy price. For 5 years we are not getting permission for a small thing, but we will not, because we are expecting that others are coming with full bag, and you are giving only this dry. So they have given me the name. When I was in Bihar, they labeled me a Sukha party. A Sukha party aaya. That means dry party. I am a dry person who never drinks with other people. They bring so many things, In the packet there is so much talking about the money and all that. From under the table they say. Then they said, you see, we are fully habituated with bribe. We will not do your work with bribe. But this is official. We have purchased the land. We have not done anything wrong. Only it has to be now put into the record of the government. We will not do without bribe. This is our nature. Okay, I'll bring bribe tomorrow, I told them. They were very happy. After all, we have been able to convert this Babaji. Next day, I took some books of Swami Vivekananda. This is the only maximum bribe I can give you. And that Bada Babu was very, very unhappy with me. I said, you see, your children will read these beautiful story books are there. Then, next day, the dealing clerk said, आप बड़ा बाबू को अच्छा सा किताब दिया, हमारा भी तो बच्चा है, हमको भी किताब दे, हाँ तुमको भी ब्राइट देंगे, दूर चलो. Next day again I gave the bribe to another person. Gradually the whole department, they started getting bribe. I said whatever it is, whether I get the land recorded or not, at least people started reading books of Swami. That's a great achievement. This is exactly what happened. When I was in Ranchi, looking after Divyan Krishi Vigyan Kendra in Ranchi, that is one of the best fishery tribal development projects, and I used to go to Patna for some work. That's how I did it. But what I mean to say is that not that I do not know how difficult it is to practice truth, honesty in this particular present scenario, particularly in India. Without corruption, nothing moves. Even in that also, if we are a Rajyogi, if we want to achieve the absolute, if we want to meet truth, we will have to follow truth. What is the price? What is the price you have to pay? Not necessarily you will get money. You will have to suffer. But ultimately, if you follow truth, you will get truth. And that is the price you have to pay. Pay for reaching the infinite truth. And if we are ready to pay the price, truth will come. Similarly, for each and every virtue, yama and niyama, whatever extent we can follow, let us try to follow. And then we come to yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar. Pratyahar is withdrawing the mind from a particular object. Our mind is getting, from there we have to withdraw to ourselves and try to concentrate on a pratyaya on which we want to concentrate. So withdrawing the mind again and again. Most of the time when we say we are meditating, actually we are not meditating, we are doing pratyahara. We are trying to concentrate on a particular object, a pratyaya. The mind goes to other things, again we bring back and put it in our pratyaya. That is pratyahara, pratyahara, bringing back. So pratyahara itself is so difficult. Then next step is dharana. Next step is dhyan, and the ultimate is samadhi. So they say, if you can fix your mind for 12 seconds continuously, without absolutely any other sort of vritti coming into play, continuously 12 seconds, if you can concentrate on a particular pratyaya, well, that is dharana. And if you can concentrate for 12 seconds into 12 seconds, 144 seconds, if you can do that, then it is dhyan. And if you can do it 12 into 12 into 12 seconds, without any interruption, continuously, then it is samadhi. And that is also sampradaya samadhi. Then you got asampradaya samadhi, nirvikar samadhi, nirvichar samadhi, and then you got nirvikalpa samadhi, the highest. So there are so many types of samadhis. So ultimately we have to reach that ultimate state, samadhi. So we have to go step by step. And let us not be disappointed if we are not able to concentrate. Many people, they come to me, Swamiji, I want to share some secret. Yes, please tell me. You see, when I come and when I sit down for meditation, my mind wanders here and there, and sometimes very peculiar types of thoughts come. The thoughts which I never had thought, such types of thoughts come to me in my mind. I say, this is no secret, this is not a secret, this is open secret. Because everybody comes to me and says the same thing. Now if somebody says, oh, whenever I start meditating, simply my goal immediately meditation, deep meditation I get, then I think there's something wrong. Maybe a fit recipient for going to mental hospital. Why? Why I'm telling like this? Because Swami Vivekananda says in his book on Raja Yoga that when we try to concentrate at the beginning, let us expect it. It will take some time. It is not for a day or two. We have to practice. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tad nirodha. It will come, but we have to practice for a long time. Satu Dirghakal, Nirvata, Satkara, Tevidu Durdi. Why we have to Dirghakal? Why Dirghakal? Because what we are trying to do, we are trying to reach that absolute, go beyond mind. How do we go beyond mind? By controlling mind. And controlling mind is difficult. Why? The nature of the mind is like that of a monkey. Swami Vivekananda says, do you know? Our mind is like that of a monkey. There was a monkey, always monkeys are very restless. They cannot sit, just jumping, always jumping. So there was a monkey which was very restless, which was always jumping. Now somebody made him drink a lot of wine. Now you can understand. He started jumping more. And then a scorpion stung him. Now you see still jumping more and more. And then a ghost entered into his head. And you can understand. Similarly he says, by nature our mind is restless and day and night we are drinking wine. Why not? Desire. I want to have this Mercedes-Benz car. I want to have this house. I want to have this mobile. Today I must go for this career. Tomorrow I must go for this job. So many types of desires. Every day we are drinking. And so mind becomes more restless. Already restless like a monkey. Then we are drinking wine of desire. Becomes more restless. Then a scorpion stings. Scorpion of jealousy. That fellow went ahead of me. Let me catch hold of his feet and put him down. So scorpion sting then becomes more restless. And then finally the ghost of ego enters. Don't you know who am I? I'm police officer. I'll take you to task. So when the ghost of ego comes, it becomes more restless. So American says it is very difficult to control our mind. Why? Because it is by very nature this type of monkey. But don't be disappointed. Even persons like Arjuna who could shoot, who could penetrate the eyes of a fish by just looking at the reflection, not the actual fish. Even Arjuna says, when Sri Krishna told about meditation, Sri Krishna says, what you told, very nice things, Lord, very nice things. But, there is always a but. But, my mind is very restless. Chanchalami mana Krishna, pramati balavadradam, tasyaham nigraham vanne, vayuriva sudushkaram. I find this mind very restless to control. It is more difficult to control than to control the wind in the fist. I find it so difficult. And what Sri Krishna says, Sri Krishna does not say, what? Talking like a fool? In the second chapter, when Sri Krishna says, when Arjuna says, I will not fight, I find very difficult to fight. No, my mind is completely disappointed. I will not fight. And then Sri Krishna gave a very strong dose. Kutatsva kashmaladidam vishme samubhatitam anaryam ajustam aswargyam akirtikaram arjuna klevam nasamadam partham naitottehi upapadate shuddham hridaya dorbalyam chattotesa karatam. Get up. Get up. This faint-heartedness does not befit you. Don't be a coward. Be a man. Be bold. Don't be a coward. Get up and fight. But when Arjuna says, oh Lord, this mind is very, very restless and I find it very difficult to control, then Sri Krishna doesn't say, what you are talking like a fool. No. He says, Asanshaya Mahabhavo Manodurnigram Charan. Yes, Arjuna, you are very right. This mind is very difficult to control. But second sentence, Abhyasena to Kaunteya Vairagya Chidete. But with Abhyas and Vairagya, you will be able to achieve what is impossible. And same thing is told by Patanjali. Abhyas Vairagya Abhyas Tan Nirodha. These are the two basic equipments by which we can gradually control. Practice. Practice makes a man perfect. We will have to have practice. The regular practice at regular time. Brahma Muhurta is the best time for meditation. If not, some people cannot get up early morning because night they cannot go to sleep because all the best programs in the TV are coming at night. So I know your problems of the modern man. So you have to I compromise. Whatever time you get up is your Brahma Muhurta. I give you that concession. But after getting up, first thing you say meditate. Some people, first thing they want is a newspaper. Kali Bhagavad. And then one of our management experts said, I hope there is nobody here. He said, don't read newspapers in the morning. Why? Newspapers are bad, newspapers are sad and they make you mad. All bad things are there, bad things are there. And after reading the newspaper, you meditate, you will be meditating not on God. You will be meditating not on any light, divine light. You will be meditating on a scam. Or all those types of things, or murder and all that. So, whenever you get up, that is your Brahma Muhurta. That is your Brahma Muhurta. Preferably Brahma Muhurta. If not, whatever time you get up, the first thing you should do is to meditate. Some people say, can we meditate before bath? Because they say their equation is like this: first get up, have a cup of tea, then newspaper, then all the other things, final bath, and after bath meditation. By the time the mind is gone. So, even I believe that consider without bath also you meditate. Have a French bath. You know, in the winter season some people they use this French bath. French bath means there is no water. In France, there is a lot of shortage of water. Now the situation has increased. Swami says in a book one day, he says humorously, one old lady, for the whole life she had not, in France, she had never seen so much of water. When she went to a big tub full of water, she died on the spot. Seeing so much of water on the bathroom. Anyway, so take bath, without bath, but you meditate early morning and you are, whatever time you get up, that is your Brahma Muhurta. But practice is very important. Practice. Very, very important practice. But simple practice is of no use. Vairagya. Abhyasa Vairagya. 4 drunkards got together and it was a moonlight. They thought, let us have boating. So they started rowing the boat, one after another. And they became tired. But one after another they started rowing. It was a full moonlight, picnic, they had gone. Now, when the daybreak came and there was good sunlight and their intoxication went down. And so they started, oh my God, my arms are tired. My arms are also tired. Oh, let us see how far we have come. Oh, there is some particular spot this come. Let us go down. And they went down and they found out they were at the same spot from where they had started. Because they had rowed the whole night, but they forgot to lift the anchor. So, that is why we may go on practicing a lot of time, not many hours, but if our mind is attached to some particular object or particular thing, our mode of concentration will not move even an inch. Not even an inch. So, first lift the anchor. That is, Vairagya means detachment. Spiritual detachment is necessary. So, I am coming to the end of my presentation. My time is ending. But it's a very vast topic. I have not yet started. Actually, I have not yet started. I am telling you. You know, Swami went to America and then he gave talk for 2.5 hours. Then the person who was in charge of the program started showing the what? What? You're showing the what? Showing me the what? I have not yet started. I was just warming up. So I was just giving introduction to my topic anyway. But we have to listen to good things from Dr. Nagendra, and then there are so many other good speakers also. But I will end with one beautiful story of Narada, that I must say. Narada was going and he found one person. He was meditating deeply. He was engrossed. And he was meditating deeply for such a long time that a full mound of ant hill had gathered around his head. He was inside the ant hill, whole mound of ant hill. So much he had meditated. There was an ant hill that was created. So then he said, Narada, where are you going? Oh, I am going to meet God. Oh, you are going to God. Please ask him. I am meditating for such a long time that the whole ant hill is gone, the mound of ant hill has come. When I am going to get freedom, ultimate freedom, when I am going to get perfection, please ask him. Okay, I'll ask. Then after some time he met a person who was dancing and taking the name of the Lord and just dancing and enjoying. He said, Narada, where are you going? I am going to go on Vaikuntha. Oh, you are going there. Please ask when I am going to get mukti, when I am going to get perfection. Okay, I'll ask. Came down. Then after production I came down. First this person, did you meet God? Yes, yes. Did you ask my question? Yes, yes. What did God say? He said, now only 4 more births you have to take. After 4 births, you will be liberated. And he started weeping, my God, I meditated so much that the whole anthill has gone beyond in my body, and still I have to take 4 more births. He started weeping. Then Narada went, next person. When the next person came, he said, Narada, did you ask? Yes. What did he say? Do you see this tamarind tree? He asked. You will have to take births equal to the number of those leaves of the tree. And after that, you will be liberated. What? God said that I will be liberated. Yes, he said. Did he commit? That he will, yes, you will be liberated, but you have to take so many births. But I will be liberated. God said, and started down, oh, I will be liberated, oh, I will be liberated, I will be liberated. And immediately, there was Akashwani. You will be liberated just now. Because you were ready to practice so many births, so you get your prize just now. That is the price we pay for perseverance. So Swami Vivekananda said, in order to succeed, you must have tremendous perseverance, tremendous willpower. I will drink the ocean, says the persevering soul. At my will, the mountains will crumble to dust. Have that sort of energy, that sort of perseverance, that sort of will, work hard, and you will reach the goal. Let us remember the great message of Swami Vivekananda. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. And goal is to go beyond mind. Thank you very much.